past is catching up with him. India Today has uncovered an unholy side of this self-styled godman. The relationship between him and his female devotees or gopis. Men and women who went to Bhole Baba's satsang have made some sensational revelations. They claim Suraj Pal, aka Bhole Baba, surrounded himself with virgin girls. He would tell these girls that they can see the reflection of God in his sunglasses, which he would wear only during the satsang. The girls were given special red dresses by the satsang organizing committee. These girls in red would then dress up and put makeup and dance around Bhole Baba. Red attire was only for virginal girls.
लड़कियां गहने कपड़े पहन कर नाचती और बाबा के पास कूद कूद के उनने जाली जंगलाने और पहुंच जाती और खूब नाचते हंसते उनने उनके चश्मान में प्रभु दिखाई देवे और खूब नाचे वो आत्मा उनके पति बना कर रह गई उनमें टेंट तंबू कचुताने रहते वहीं पे तैयार होती और वहीं पे दरबार में जाती ड्रेस में जाती बगैर ड्रेस हमने कोई ये ना घुसन देवे जो ड्रेस पहन कर रहती वो सज धज कर वही जाती.
Devotees claim only virgins were made Bhole Baba's disciples and that married women were not allowed to meet him.
लड़कियां ही रहती थी कुआरी ब्याही जो अनपढ़ लड़कियां वो गुरनाम लेती वो लेडीज जो मतलब उनने अंधविश्वास ने भी भीतर ना हुई ऐसो वो तो वह भोले बाबा के रूप से देखे जिनको ने एक भी ना हो.
This not so Bhole Baba also had his own harem. Special bath water would be prepared by the Baba's gopis that had neem and rose petals and would be scented with perfume. The gopis would also feed him.
नीम का पानी से स्नान करता है. लेडीज ही उसे नहलाती हैं, लेडीज ही खिलाती हैं, कपड़े तलाक लेडीज पहनाती हैं. और लेडीजों में भी कुंवारी लड़कियां हैं, ये नहीं कि ब्याही थाई लड़कियां आती हों.
A godman who indulged in most unholy acts. That's Bhole Baba. Bureau Report, India Today.
After Joe Biden's disastrous performance in the first presidential debate in the United States against Donald Trump, chorus is now growing for the US president to drop out of the race. George Clooney has issued a damning call for Biden to quit the presidential race hours after senior Democrat Nancy Pelosi just tried to dance around questions about whether Biden should continue.
US President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden hosted a social dinner in the East Room for NATO allies and partners at the White House on Wednesday evening. In the background, chorus grows for President to step down from his re-election campaign. Vermont Senator Peter Welch is now the first Senate Democrat to do so. He called on Joe Biden to withdraw for the good of the country for his newspaper op-ed. This came after film star and lifelong Democrat George Clooney added his voice to call for Joe Biden to leave the presidential race in a newspaper column on Wednesday. Just 3 weeks before publishing the most bruising column, George Clooney's fundraiser hit headlines for bringing in a record single-night haul for the president's re-election campaign. He's not the only celebrity to raise concern and doubt about President Biden's re-election campaign. Author Stephen King's comment was rather blunt, as he went on to say for America's interest that Joe Biden should not contest. But the most brutal comment was of director Michael Moore. He attacked the Democrats for committing elder abuse by letting Biden run for 2024 elections. Public opinion too seems to grow against him.
He reminds me of my elderly grandparents who are in nursing homes and are being taken care of and are resting and are doing what I think our elderly population should be concerned with, which is, living out the remainder years of their lives with dignity and happiness, which I don't think if Biden continues the way that he's going, that's going to happen for him. He deserves to chill and relax.
We know that cognitive abilities decline with age. That's not really a surprise. Everybody knows that at some point you got to take your grandparents' keys, probably around the age Joe Biden is. So, yeah.
The growing chorus in public has the Senate worried and divided.
Oh yeah, it's obvious. I've known him for years. He's slowed down for sure. can the Democrats replace him at this point?
That'd be up to them. I don't know. They're struggling with that idea. What I worry about between now and November, what signals are the bad guys picking up? We live in very dangerous times. We're worried about an Iranian breakout. When America seems to be not on its game, people make decisions that could be very provocative. So I worry about the national security implications regarding the discussions of his declined ability to perform his job. You can't have a part-time president. You got to be with it morning, noon, and night.
Because of her powerful position as the former House Speaker and proximity to Biden, as a trusted long-time ally of his generation, Nancy Pelosi is seen as one of the few Democratic leaders who could have influence on the US president. She too no more sound as a strong supporter of his campaign.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short. I think overwhelming support of the caucus. It's not for me to say. I'm not the head of the caucus anymore, but he's beloved. He is respected, and people want him to make that decision.
Former President and Republican candidate Donald Trump is the most happy person at this moment. He reveled in the Democratic infighting that is playing out in public.
Meanwhile, the radical left Democrat Party is divided in chaos and having a full-scale breakdown, all because they can't decide which of their candidates is more unfit to be president, sleepy, crooked Joe Biden or laughing Kamala. Laughing Kamala.
During his last campaign trail, President Biden tried to rally the key constituency of labor leaders.
I said I was going to be the most pro-union president in American history. Well, guess what? I am, and I'm staying there. No, I mean it. Because you represent the folks I grew up with. You represent where I come from. You represent where the vast majority of the American people.
All eyes are now set on President Biden's press conference at the end of the NATO summit. It will be the biggest unscripted test for him since his botched debate 2 weeks prior, which triggered this crisis. Bureau Report, India Today.
The story of English football has been a story of acute, bitter disappointment. Well, England fans finally believe the cup is truly coming home. A 91st minute winner sealed a place in the finals for England as they beat the Netherlands 2-1 in a gripping semi-final clash, setting up a tantalizing final this Sunday, Spain versus the Three Lions.
That's a good nick by Simons. It's Xavi Simons!
The Dutch drew first blood in the semi-final when